Everybody in this space is going to tell you that building the automation is the hard part. Learn the tools, take a 6-hour course, master the framework, and then the clients will just appear. And I'm telling you right now that that is backwards. The build is the easy part. I recently found a leak in a real business that was costing them somewhere between $1,200 and $4,800 a month. And I found it in about 20 minutes without talking to a single person at that company. By the end of this video, I'm going to show you exactly how I did that. And I'm going to show you the one step in the middle that decides whether this whole approach makes you money or wastes your weekend. And most people skip it completely. And if you want to learn how to build and sell these kinds of systems, how to actually make money with AI, join my school community of over 3,000 members doing that exact thing for real. The link is down below. And if you're a business owner and you just want these solutions up and running in your business done for you, book a call with me. That link is down below too. All right, now let's dive in. So here's the idea underneath everything that I'm about to show you. Every local business is leaking money somewhere. Missed calls, quotes that never get followed up, leads that sit in the inbox over the weekend. The owner usually can't see it because they're inside of the business, putting out fires all day. But here's the part that took me way too long to figure out. Their customers will tell you exactly where the leak is, publicly, for free, in their Google reviews. Think about what a review actually is. Somebody had an experience strong enough that they took 5 minutes out of their day to write about it. When one person writes, "Nobody called me back," that's an anecdote. When 14 people across 2 years write some version of, "I called 3 times and never heard anything," that's not an anecdote anymore, that's a confession. The business is publicly confessing through its own leads and customers that its follow-up process is broken. And a broken follow-up process has a dollar value attached to it, which we'll get to, because that dollar number is what turns an interesting observation into a paid project. Now here's the problem, and this is the reason that most people actually don't do this. Reading reviews is miserable. The business I mentioned at the top had 458 reviews. If you sat down and read every single one of those and took notes, and then grouped the complaints into themes, counted how often each theme showed up, and checked whether the owner ever responded, that's a full day of the most tedious work imaginable. And I know because I used to do it by hand when I first started. I'd have a spreadsheet open, copying review snippets into columns, and by number 60, my eyes would glaze over, and I'd start missing things. The information was always valuable, but getting it was brutal. So I automated it. I built what I call a leak finder. You point it at a business's Google reviews, and it does the thing that no human wants to do. It reads all of them, every single one. It pulls out the complaint patterns, counts them, checks whether the owner responds to the reviews, flags how recent the complaints are, and then hands me back a diagnosis. What used to be a full day of spreadsheet misery is now about 20 minutes. And most of that is me drinking a LaCroix and petting my cats while it runs. And look, I am genuinely excited about this because this is what automation is actually for. Not just automating for the sake of a cool demo, taking something that is truly valuable and truly tedious and eliminating the tedious part. But here's where I need you to pay attention, because this is the part of the video that matters. The tool does not find clients. The tool finds complaints. Those are not the same thing, and the gap between them is where the money is. When you run something like this on a business with a few hundred reviews, you're going to get back a pile of patterns. Some customers hate the parking. Somebody thought the front desk person was rude in 2023. A few people think the prices are too high. And if you take that pile and then panic write a cold email listing every problem that you found and then blast it at the owner, you'll get ignored. And honestly, you deserve it, because that's not a diagnosis. That's just a complaint dump. What separates a $4,000 project from an ignored email is judgment. And judgment is a filter that you run every finding through before you ever reach out to anybody. Let me show you what the filter looks like in practice, because I run the same 4 questions on every single leak that the tool surfaces. Question 1, is it recurring? 1 angry review is noise. 1 angry review per month for the past 18 months is a process failure. I want patterns, not incidents. Question 2, can I put a dollar number on it? This is the big one. People say your receptionist is rude is an insult. You're getting roughly 30 inquiries a week. Reviews say that a chunk of them never get a call back. And at your average job size, that's between $1,200 and $4,800 a month walking away. That is a business case. If I can't attach a defensible dollar amount to a leak, I don't pitch it. Question 3, is it fixable with a system? Some leaks are automation problems. Missed follow-ups, slow quote, no review responses, leads going cold on weekends. Those I can fix. Some leaks are human problems. If the review says the owner screams at customers, no workflow on earth is saving that business. And I'm certainly not dealing with someone like that. Question 4. Does the size of the leak justify the cost of the fix? If the leak is $200 a month, the owner is never going to pay me $4,000 to plug it. And they shouldn't. I'm looking for leaks where the fix pays for itself within the first 60 to 90 days, because then it's a math conversation and not a persuasion conversation. So recurring, dollar valued, system fixable, and worth more than the fix costs. Most findings die somewhere in those 4 questions. And that's exactly the point. The filter is what keeps you from pitching garbage. Now let me walk you through a real one, start to finish, so you can see the whole thing assembled. This is the business at the top of this video. Property management company, 4.5 stars. 458 reviews. And I want you to sit with that for a second, because 4.5 stars looks healthy. If you were scrolling Google Maps, you'd never give this company a second look. This is why averages lie. The star rating is the average of everybody. The leak lives in the pattern in the 1 and 2 star reviews. And no owner is reading and addressing those systematically, because who wants to sift through 458 reviews about their own company? It's like stepping on a scale after the holidays. You know roughly what it's going to say, so you just don't look. So I ran the leak finder on them. 20 minutes later, the pattern was sitting right there. Unreturned calls and broken follow-up promises to inbound leads, over and over. Prospective tenants and property owners saying that they reached out, got told that somebody would call them back, and then silence. And on top of that, the owner almost never responded to reviews, which told me that nobody at the company was looking at this channel at all. Then the judgment filter. Recurring? Yes, spanning years and still showing up in recent reviews. Dollar value? Property management fees run between 8 and 10% of the rent every month. And the landlord who signs stays for years. Even if it's just 1 or 2 leads slipping through that broken follow-up each month, that's $1,200 to $4,800 a month that's basically just being thrown out the window. System fixable? Completely. This is an acknowledgement sequence, a callback confirmation, an SMS escalation to the assigned agent if nothing happens within 2 hours, and a weekend alert so that leads don't just rot between Friday and Monday. Worth the fix? A leak that could be $50,000 plus per year against a project that would be priced in the low 4 figures? Like, the math isn't even close. So every box is checked. Now and only now does the approach happen. And I know that some of you have been waiting this whole video to hear how to pitch this. So here it is, and it's going to sound almost too simple. You don't sell the automation, you hand them the diagnosis. My outreach for something like this is short. Something like, I analyzed your last 458 Google reviews. There's a recurring pattern of missed callbacks to inbound leads, going back 2 years. And at your fee structure, I would estimate that's costing you somewhere between $1,200 and $4,800 a month. I put the breakdown in a 1-page document. Want me to send it over? And that's it. No pitch deck. No, I'm an automation agency and I help businesses like yours. Notice what's actually happening in that message. I demonstrated the work before asking for anything. I know their reviews better than they do. There's a real dollar number in the first 2 sentences, and the ask is tiny. Do you want the document? Yes or no? Here's why this lands when cold pitches don't. People don't buy when they understand what you do. They buy when they feel understood. Every other email in that business owner's inbox is someone explaining what AI could theoretically do for a business like theirs. Yours is the only one that says, here is what is specifically broken in your business, here's what it costs you, and here's the evidence written by your own customers. You're the doctor who ran the labs before the appointment. Everybody else is just guessing at prescriptions from the parking lot. Now I know what some of you are thinking. Lindsay, I'm a builder. I can set up the automation, no problem. But diagnosing a business? Putting a dollar number on leaks? That feels above my pay grade. And I hear this constantly inside my community. And I want to address it directly because I've been exactly where you are. 18 months ago, I was making $50K a year doing marketing for an insulation company. And when I started this, the technical side felt like a mountain, and it wasn't. The tools were learnable in weeks. The thing that actually changed my income, that took me from that $50,000 a year job to over $100,000 in 9 months with consulting, was learning to find and frame problems that businesses would be willing to pay me to fix. And here's the thing you're missing. The diagnosis that I just walked you through is not genius. It's 4 questions. Is it recurring? What's it cost? Can a system fix it? And is the leak bigger than the fix? You can hold those things in your head right now. The evidence gathering, the thing that used to take a full day of grinding through reviews, is the part that the automation does for you. The machine does the tedious part. You do the thinking part. And that division of labor is the entire job of a consultant. And honestly, this flips the usual dynamic on its head. Most builders spend months polishing their technical skills and 0 hours finding a problem that's worth solving. And then they wonder why nobody's buying. The builders in my community who have landed clients fastest are almost never the strongest technicians. They're the ones who show up to a business owner holding evidence. So let's bring it all the way back to the beginning. I told you the build is the easy part, and now you can see a whole picture of why. The leak finder, the actual automation, I could teach you to build in a weekend, and frankly, Claude would do most of the heavy lifting. What made the property management company a real opportunity was everything wrapped around the build. 1, the insight that reviews are a public confession of where a business is bleeding. 2, the automation that deletes the tedious part of extracting it. 3, the judgment filter, recurring, dollar valued, system fixable, worth more than the fix. And 4, an approach that hands over the diagnosis instead of pitching a tool. The build was maybe 20% of that. The other 80% is the part that almost nobody teaches. And that's exactly the part that gets you paid. So here's what I want you to actually do with this. Don't just watch this like entertainment. Pick one local business this week. Pick a boring one. Property management, used car sales, auto repair, movers. Read their 30 worst reviews, even manually, and run the 4 questions. And you will be shocked how fast a leak shows up when you're actually looking for one. And drop a comment and tell me which niche you picked, because I read every single one and I'll tell you if I think that that niche is worth mining. So if you want to learn how to build and sell systems like this, how to actually make money with AI instead of just collecting more tutorials, join my school community of over 3,000 members doing that exact thing for real. The link is down below. And if you're a business owner watching this and thinking, I don't want to learn any of this, I just want to know where my business is leaking and get it fixed, book a call with me. That link is also down below. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.